buildings and private residences. The SIU says the money was allegedly siphoned from the UIF's COVID-19 Temporary Employer-Employee Relief Scheme. Amongst the suspects is Thamsanqa Madlala, an MK Party councillor at the Nkonyeni local municipality. It's alleged that Madlala purchased several taxis with UIF money. Ntokozo Khumalo has more.
More than 35 companies and 16 individuals are suspected of playing a role in the fraudulent scheme that allegedly looted 161 million rand from the UIF. It's understood that a well-coordinated syndicate submitted false applications to the UIF in order to access COVID-19 relief funds. The SIU says the money was paid to the 16 companies that submitted the claims, but the funds never reached the workers. Instead, the SIU says it has obtained evidence showing the money was redirected and shared among the individuals who ran the syndicate in a manner consistent with money laundering patterns. The SIU adds that during today's ongoing search and seizure operation, bank statements, computers and cell phones are being confiscated. Ntokozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
The Department of Basic Education has set up a national investigation task team to probe if there are any more matric exam paper irregularities. The move follows the detection of an exam paper leak in Gauteng. Minister Siviwe Gwarube says the team will start its work immediately to ensure the integrity of the 2025 exam is protected. Gwarube made the announcement at a press briefing in Parliament this morning. This is where she also confirmed that criminal charges will be pursued against officials involved in the leak, which also involves 26 learners. Babalo Ndenze reports.
The Department of Basic Education's probe into an exam leak during the final matric exams found that the candidates gave similar answers when responding to a novel question in the English Paper 2 exam. The department says a preliminary investigation also found that the leaks also involved the Mathematics Paper 2 and Physical Sciences exams. Minister Siviwe Gwarube says a task team will now be investigating further.
Our established protocols have contained it. It is investigated with the highest rigor. Umalusi, our quality assurer, has been briefed. The National Investigative Task Team will begin its work immediately to establish the full facts. This has been isolated to a few learners in 7 schools in the Pretoria area.
Gwarube says of the officials to be criminally charged, one of them is a parent of one of the implicated matriculants. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
At least 23 million people in South Africa are considered poor. This is according to the lower bound poverty threshold by Stats SA. The 2023 figure is roughly 2.5 million less since 2015. Stats SA released its revised poverty trends report today, the first update in nearly 8 years. Nokukhanya Mtambo has the details.
According to Stats SA's national poverty lines, the lower bound poverty line is capped at 1,300 rands per person per month. At almost double the food poverty line, Stats SA says this is the threshold that forces difficult trade-offs between food and other necessities. In 2006, the poverty headcount using the lower bound threshold stood at 57%, which declined to the current 37.9% in 2023. Statistician General Rasenga Maluleke.
We can see that the lower bound poverty line is declining. So poverty is declining in South Africa.
He says while there's been progress in decreasing the poverty headcount over the last 2 decades, the pace of that progress remains slow. Nokukhanya Mtambo, Eyewitness News.
The EFF has described its work in Parliament and across communities nationwide as satisfactory. Party leader Julius Malema made the comments while reviewing the party's performance. Malema has been briefing the media in Johannesburg today to reflect on the party's organizational achievements this year. Malema says the EFF has now firmly established itself as a strong opposition in the National Assembly. He adds that the party is also playing a significant role in structures set up to investigate police corruption.
In the fight against crime, the EFF has been at the forefront of ensuring the executive does not hold itself accountable while it is embedded in the corruption and capture of law enforcement agencies.
And Mexico is joining a handful of countries with laws imposing criminal penalties related to vaping. Congress gave final approval yesterday to a bill establishing penalties of up to 8 years in prison for selling electronic cigarettes and similar products. Members of President President Claudia Sheinbaum's Morena party had argued that the measure would protect the health of young people and close illegal loopholes that have allowed the devices to be promoted as safe. According to an official survey on smoking, the number of vape users in Mexico is estimated at 2.1 million out of a total population of around 132 million people. Gold is trading at $4,215.71 an ounce. The rand is at $16.91 to the dollar, $22.60 to the pound, $19.78 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $62.14 a barrel.
In Edenville, heading towards Bedfordview, we still have slow-moving traffic. R24 westbound, this is between Edenville Road and the Giluli's interchange. And if you're leaving Sandton, heading towards the Joburg CBD, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic. M1 southbound, this is between Ethel Oaklands and Killarney Bends. And look out for those faulty traffic lights in the Woodmead area at Old Pretoria Road and Woodmead Drive.
It's a partly cloudy afternoon in Gauteng today. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 25 and 27 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The Special Investigating Unit has been carrying out raids in KZN and Gauteng as part of its probe into the alleged theft of 161 million rand from the UIF.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Let's be honest, no one actually reads the fine print. Those exclusions and clauses, clever wording that sounds helpful but isn't. And that's the thing with insurance. Everyone thinks they can do it themselves until boom, something goes wrong. That's where Vouch pulls through. Real advice, real people who actually know what repudiation means. Being smart isn't about knowing everything, it's about knowing who to ask.
Vouch, someone on the inside, on your side. Vouch SA is an authorized financial services provider. T's and C's apply.
You're with Relebogile Mabotja.
Live, streaming countrywide
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Nine minutes after 1 o'clock, welcome to 7:02 Afternoons with me, Relebogile Mabotja, on this Thursday, the 11th of December. We are nearly there. Those of us that are counting down days to leave, I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm fighting for my life to get through these last few days, and I can see it even with people that I'm working with. Mistakes in emails, things being misread. We are tired. We are absolutely tired, but we're nearly there. Coming up on the show, I want to find out from all of you. What are you seeing? What are you noticing? What are you observing that really show you the signs of an economy that's in a difficult place, particularly from a work perspective? Are you seeing signs that these bonuses are not bonusing? These year-end functions are not year-end functioning? Because so many people have also said this December is not Decembering because of how tough things are in workplaces. So I want to hear from you. What is it that you are seeing in your workplace that lets you know that, they just let you know that, go rough. I want to hear from you on that. Belief matters. We're going to talk about how to cleanse and how cleansing generally works. We'll be joined by Zandilewa Mafu, spiritually known as Thando Lwakho, who is a spiritual healer, and we will talk about cleansing, why it is you cleanse, how to do it, the circumstances in the different African cultures. And then we wrap up with Wendy Nola in our consumer rights feature, Nola Knows, and we're going to give feedback on a story. We had a father who was struggling to cancel his late son's cell phone contract who passed on, and we have a follow-up on that and all of your other consumer rights questions. We'll open up the lines for them. So get in touch with us. Give us a call, 011 883 0702, SMS us 31702, tweet at Relebogile M at Radio 702 using the hashtag 702 Afternoons and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
702 Afternoons
With Relebogile Mabotja.
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
What signs are you observing that it is rough? We are going through tough times just based on simple things that your company would usually do. Be it bonuses, be it year-end functions. What are you seeing? What are you noticing? What are the conversations that you are hearing? There are scaled down year-end functions I have heard of, and I'll share with you a hilarious, I mean, it's not funny, it's sad, but it's also kind of funny scenario that I have heard of just to show how tough things are. Bonuses being reduced or cut completely. So if you're somebody who used to get bonuses, now you're like, yay, they told us this year there are no bonuses, or there's no 13th check, or the bonus has been reduced. Share with us. How did it work before? What are you seeing now? Things like cost cutting at the office. Where you notice, man, this thing is diluted, or you went from 2-ply to 1-ply. Hiring freeze or staff not being replaced, where now somebody leaves the company and that role is just not replaced. Whatever work they were doing gets split amongst whoever is there. Things like training and staff development just being on hold. Even maybe the communication changing with how the bosses speak. You can tell, they use phrases like tightening our belts. They use terms like we're prioritizing sustainability. They say things like streamlining operations. Or straight up, we are saving costs. Or they say things like they're operational cutbacks. And maybe you are not an employee. Maybe you can speak on what you see as a business owner from your clients. I have felt it. Those who are in my industry know very well that there are certain clients who have straight up said, please, all budgets cut across by 20%. We're not saying give us 20% less. We are saying cut the budget by 20%. We are feeling it. Oh, please reduce your management fee, or please reduce your production fee. And then the other sort of telltale sign is when you start to also have people nervous about their job security in the building. That's another telltale sign that, yay, things are happening or not so happening like they used to at the company. Now, please know this situation that I'm talking about is not unique to South Africa. It isn't. We are seeing it all around the world. There was a woman who posted a video, and I'm not sure if she's in the US or in the UK. But she's not speaking in the video. She just has written in her caption, people need to be at work for culture, work culture. What do they call it? Something along those lines. But she's showing all the different things at work, as in you're returning from work from home, so for work culture purposes. But the chairs are broken. Even the sponge in the kitchen is like, it's finished, basically. You can see that the office is a hot mess. You can see that times are tough. So it's not unique to us as South Africans, and it's not unique to certain industries. I think maybe the tech industries, and you guys can share which are the industries which you're saying are definitely not impacted much by what is happening with our economy right now. But tell me those signs that you are seeing that say, hey, it is a tough time. 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
You disappeared at some point, like you took a break. I don't know what to call it. What was happening at the time and what made you decide to pause a little bit?
There was so much. I think a lot of people don't realize how much pressure an artist can be in. I remember I was at a gig where, it felt like every other gig we had done, same kind of vibe. It's like the little Notende, the artist who was writing songs and dancing. She said, so is this all you're going to do? You're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again when you know that there's so much more to you.
Because a true artist
as an
will
artist.
be frustrated by that.
You see?
Notende Madumo.
Clement Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
You're invited to the Red Ball Festival on the 9th of December at DP World Wanderers Stadium. Celebrate cricket with activities, prizes, and free Ola ice creams for the first 200 guests. Meet Ryan Rickleton with the ICC World Test Championship Mace. Enjoy a picnic on the field and let kids join a free masterclass with Hashim Amla and Alan Donald. Plus giveaways, stadium tours, and a grand prize of 2 return flights to Cape Town from Lift Airlines. Get your tickets at cricket.co.za. That's cricket.co.za. Hashtag the pride of Josie. T's and C's apply.
Say hello to the Baby Krugerrand, the smallest gold Krugerrand ever released. Don't let its size fool you. This 1/50th coin carries the exclusive PK200 Privy Mark, celebrating 200 years of Paul Kruger. With gold prices up more than 50% this year and demand surging, now is the time to invest. These miniature treasures are moving fast, so don't miss your chance to own a unique piece of history. Visit citycoins.com to secure yours today.
It's been a long year of, I hope this email finds you well. One long year of loop bags, circle bags, going back to the drawing board, touching base, pushing the envelope, taking things offline and thinking outside the box. Thank goodness AV's 4 for 3 is here. For vacays, bakeys, imicimbi, nemikiti and weddings. If you book a car for a minimum of 4 days, you'll only pay for 3. Plus, if it's a Group A car, you get upgraded to a stylish Group B car so you can really get into the vibe. Visit avis.co.za for bookings. Terms and conditions apply.
As part of our road safety strategy under the banner of Cross Alive, the Department of Transport, in partnership with the Cross-Border Road Transport Agency and law enforcement partners, is extending road safety efforts beyond our borders. South Africa experiences high levels of cross-border travel, especially during this time, and safety remains our priority. Let us work together to protect every life on every route. Brought to you by the Department of Transport, moving South Africa forward.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
The Financial Sector Conduct Authority finally issuing fines of more than 2 billion rand on the trading platform Bankso. It's been found guilty of lying to clients, misappropriating funds, promising unrealistic returns.
Most of the consumers, they're looking for investments that yield a better return, that give a higher interest rate. So that's where we are gullible. Now, these scammers will take opportunity of such behavior.
Eunice Sabia is an independent financial trainer and coach.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show, Stephen Curtis, is brought to you by ABSA CIB. Invested in your story because your story matters. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
You're listening to 702 Afternoons
with Relebogile Mabotja,
winner for the best talk show
at the Telkom Radio Awards.
20 minutes after 1 o'clock, and we are talking about all of those signs, the telltale signs that the economy is rough and what you're seeing at work in regards to things like bonuses, maybe cutting of staff, maybe talks of retrenchments, maybe even at the year-end function. What have you seen that is a reflection of the signs of the times? And if you are a business owner and you're not necessarily working for bosses, what are you experiencing from your clients that show it's a sign of the times? In our industry, it has been very quiet. I can be so real with you. The television and film industry has been a struggle. And the way that I know that that is the case is that people will be willing to take on freelance jobs that are 2 or 3 levels lower than what their experience is. just so they can have something, just so they can have anything. In the same way that in my DMs, there are people who'll say that I am a graduate and I've been sitting at home. I will even come to clean. I saw somebody saying what they have been sitting 6 years without a job, unemployed. Keep in mind, this person is a medical doctor. So they spent the 7 years studying and then another couple of years doing their community service and all the stuff that they have to do in the experience, sitting unemployed. It is very, very real. 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. Let's go to some of your voice notes.
Good afternoon, Relay. Yeah, look, Cyril's economy is not make sure. Yeah, especially this year. Yeah, it's been tough. I'm self-employed. I operate in the space of accounting advisory and taxation and so forth. You will see clients that would ordinarily pay on time are no longer paying. Some are avoiding you. Some are offloading. But hey, we're still grateful for the little that we still have. We're just given an opportunity for next year. Hopefully, things might turn up. But hey, yeah, this economy is really not make sure. Great show as usual. Mudisa here. Bye.
Yeah, Relebogile. Na kibonika ka coffee. We went from Nescafe to Recoffee in a quick hurry. And then, yeah, no longer full cream. No name brand now. I'm telling you, just in the kitchen fell. Hey, I'm worried about the bonus.
Afternoon, Relebogile. Hey, it's bad, bona. Rona, ba small business, ba rekisang dijo. We can tell that no, this December, it's not December reincarnate. You know, we used to know December, at least batulamo tareka plate, reka extra piece of meat or 3 pieces of meat. Now they all want to share one plate. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad, Relebogile. It's bad. Go Pablo F1, go Proteat Land.
Guys, there's a part of me which wants to ask, if you were enjoying Nescafe and then it got switched out to Recoffee, there's a part of me which wants to be like, don't bother. Don't put anything here. Yeah? And it really is a sign of the times. As this person was just saying on the voice note, that people who would be buying plates of food and asking for more because it's December, now they're sharing plates. Rough. One says, we were told at work to join a stokvel if we want bonuses. Guys, it's so not funny. You were told to join a stokvel. So in essence, they're saying you must build your own bonus. Yeah? DIY your bonus. No, guys, that is so rough. And speaking of, Ghana, we're in the season when you say stokvels. You guys must be careful, hey? Be careful. The scamming in stokvels where people disappear. I've noticed that one person keeps getting special treatment. Things like easier tasks, better shifts, and even bonuses or rewards that the rest of us don't get. This kind of favoritism is starting to create a sense of unfairness among the team and can be discouraging for everybody. I thought it was important to point this out because it affects team morale and how motivated people feel at work. Have a wonderful day. That is from TT. Actually, I'm going to ask a question. Are you of the view that if a company is not doing well, there should be, if whatever happens for one should happen for all? Or are you of the view that those who performed exceptionally well should still be recognized, even if everybody else is not going to get whatever that is. Let's say that under normal circumstances, everybody gets a 13th check. Now the company is not doing well, and let's say the 13th check is just your 13th salary. Now that the company is not doing so well, that they say nobody's getting anything, or only a few of you that are selected will get something. Which is worse? I'm actually not sure. Because you might say, no, those doing well must get something, and then you're not selected as the one doing well. Ukoring after that. Who FK says when they tell you your Christmas party is a bring and bribe. Hey, guys. I nearly forgot to share the story I heard of a year-end function, which was like, okay, this is the year-end function. You're going to come to the space. It's an outdoor situation. And then they got told, look, we will provide the drinks, like not alcohol, juice. You must bring food from home. And if you don't want to bring food from home, you can pre-order, and here's the price list. You'll pay on arrival. I'm of the view that why bother? That's how, like, I won't go. If I must bring food from home, Abel, what are we bringing from home? You're just bringing yourself. Now you're going to look at the people that are eating their own food like I'm just, As a retailer label, December is feeling like January. And it really is, guys. People don't have the monies. Another one says when they tell you to bring your own tea and coffee and each one must bring a toilet paper at work, no. You are lying to me. No. I can see tea and coffee, but toilet paper. No, guys. What do you mean? Kabelo on Facebook says budget is limited to 300 Rand per person at the restaurant and no alcohol as part of the year end. Depending what restaurant it is, 300 Rand is actually not too bad. Abel, you're shaking your head. I'm saying depending. 300 Rand, what can that get you, Konandos? Yo. Nels Mabanka says, fortunately, our company is growing and expanding. Despite the tough economic times, we still get bonuses, increments, and end-year functions. You are so fortunate, Nels, because there are those that have been downgraded from Nescafe to Rick Coffee, those that have been told to bring their own toilet paper from home. That's how bad the economy is. And those being told, bring your own food and bring your own bride to the year-end function at work. I work for an international company. They recently culled quite a few staff. We're no longer being paid extra for weekend work. Our self-development has completely stopped, and they're putting emphasis on our performance when it comes to renewing our contracts. It is very, very stressful, is what the person says on that message. More of your voice notes on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Level. Sarah from Beer Sport. I have stopped drinking coffee, and I am a coffee freak, a coffee snob, if you like. I can't afford it any longer, so I drink tea now, which is fine, it's okay, but it's not coffee. Okay, so, and there are a few other things that I completely had to cut out. Quite a lot of things, actually. You know, I'm a pensioner and I'm not as... no, the times are definitely tough. Okay, bye.
The times are definitely tough. You are so fortunate if you're in an industry working for or owning a business that is not affected by the tough economic times, because we are seeing it and we are feeling it across multiple industries. More of your messages and voice notes when we continue. It's 1:30. Time for your latest eyewitness news headlines. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Relebogile. Good afternoon. And Umkhonto Wesize, councillor from Port Shepstone in KZN, is amongst the suspects accused of defrauding the Unemployment Insurance Fund. This has been confirmed by the Special Investigating Unit, which has been conducting search and seizure operations today. The operations are targeting homes, businesses and UIF offices in KZN as well as in Gauteng. The panel interviewing candidates vying for the position of NPA boss has grilled a candidate for having discrepancies on her CV. Advocate Xolisile Khanyile, an experienced lawyer with over 23 years in the NPA, was the first candidate in the hot seat today. The interviews of 6 candidates in total come as Advocate Shamila Batoye's term comes to an end next month. And the EFF has described its work in Parliament and across communities in the country as satisfactory. Party leader Julius Malema made the comments while reviewing the party's performance. Malema is briefing the media in Johannesburg today to reflect on the party's organizational achievements this year. Those are the headlines, this EWN and more at 2 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Leaving the Joburg CBD, we still have slow-moving traffic. This is on Main Reef Road between Anderson and the M2. Also bumper-to-bumper traffic. That's leaving Edenvale heading towards Bedford View. R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Kilulis interchange. Otherwise, the rest of 702 land not looking too bad. No serious accidents have been reported on our highways. However, just look out for those faulty traffic lights in Bramley at Collet and Scott. Traffic lights also out of order in Sunning Hill at Rivonia and Witkoppen. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
Police in Mpumalanga have arrested an undocumented Zimbabwean man found with 582 passports belonging to Malawian, Zimbabwean and Mozambican nationals, alongside almost 150,000 rand cash. And essentially what these guys do, they run this ring where they collect people's passports and they go to the border to go get them stamped for cash without the holders appearing before immigration officials. It really is quite unbelievable.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Experience a unique magical journey as the Mzansi National Philharmonic Orchestra presents its national tour, Voices of Home, featuring legendary conductor Marine Alsop and homegrown global sensation Abel Selaokwe. The program includes Selaokwe's 4 Spirits Cello Concerto, paired with Rachmaninoff's Romantic Symphony No. 2. Concerts take place at the Linda Auditorium on Wednesday the 10th and Thursday the 11th of December. Book your tickets now at Quicket.
Time to review my favorite employee, my FNB Gold Business Account. You give me thousands of potential customers by listing my business on NAV Marketplace and access to Guard Me, a bodyguard for cash drops, locking up. No other card does this. If you weren't a bank card, I'd give you a raise.
The FNB Gold Business Account. No other card works harder for your business because your safety is worth it. FNB, help changes everything. T's and C's apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
Last December, you put in new floors. Come New Year's, your visitors were out the door. And the new floor went from fresh tiles to don't step on a crack or you'll break umama's back. Now, abantu bazothini when they see the kids playing the Squid Game's hopscotch on those same cracked tiles from last year? Avoid the embarrassment this festive. Make smarter decisions for your home. Visit Cash Build for quality tiles, adhesive and tools at the lowest prices. Cash Build.
Your voice.
Your life.
Your afternoon radio.
On 702 Afternoons.
With Relebogile Mabotja.
25 minutes to 2 o'clock, and we are talking about those telltale signs. Is it telltale? Somebody remind. What is it? Telltale signs that the economy is rough based on what you're seeing at work. Whether it's, we used to have bonuses, now we don't have them. We used to have increases, now the increases are only X. We used to have 13th checks. We used to have coffee, now we don't have coffee. We got told for year end, bring our own food. 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. Says, hi Relebogile, yo, it's tough and I understand. My boss is now wearing a new face. Always when we come to work, our boss is so cheerful, but now he is different. His face is like he's from surgery with attitude. We just know Kubi. He is avoiding bonuses. Hey, it's tough. Another one says, how do I forget when they cut my annual package by 100K and no salary increase for the following year? Then they organize debt review for us. Guys, be careful, ne? We're going to be chatting to Wendy Nola later. Remember, be careful. Do your research before you engage in such. I mean, I can understand why that would be the case because now you need to reorganize your finances, but please be careful. Hi, Relebogile, Anonymous here. When they motivated employees to join debt review and organized it for employees, when I was told to rate employees a 2/underperformer just to rate them out of their position. Yeah. Hi, Relebogile. I would like to thank my ex-husband and my son for sending me food stuff from Gauteng to the Eastern Cape. I've been unemployed since June 2021. Me and my ex stayed friends because of our son since 2005 of our divorce. To be able to have that kind of support in your life is everything, especially when so many are struggling. Hi, Relebogile. We haven't received a bonus for the past 3 years. Matata. This helped paying off school fees for the whole year in advance and at least get that 15% off. That is a very, very, very tough one. I work for a tech company. We are definitely affected. Shoo. More of your voice notes on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Relebogile. Yeah, no, it is rough. You notice small things. When we were doing our KRA to see it's okay, how much are you gonna be scored? We did the KRA, then afterwards we were called and we were told, guys, look, as a company collectively, we didn't reach our target, so no bonuses. They told us straight. And the CEO said, okay, in any case, guys, this is a nice to have. But on the other hand, I would rather just have my salary, plan around it, than to fight for a bonus and lose my job, because it is tough out there. We're still blessed to have a job. Thank you. Bye.
I never thought of it that way, hey? I think you've raised such a valid point that I'd rather have my salary than fight for a bonus and now people must lose jobs. That is hectic.
Hi, Relebogile. I am of the view that individuals should be awarded for their own exceptional performance, not based on how the company did, because in that way, everybody will be motivated to pull in their weight individually, and then the company will obviously do well. But if it's in the case of we are benchmarked by the performance of the company, it kills us. This year they started that at our company, and I'm demotivated because I worked so hard throughout the year, and now I must be benchmarked with someone who cared less. It's not nice. It is not nice. I don't know if this is the strategy that they used because they saw that the company didn't do well, then everybody else won't get bonus, but it's not nice.
It's an absolutely tough one. Hi, Relebogile, this discussion is making me appreciate my job at government. Kanti gu rough kanje. It's nice, clearly they go government, eh? But it is rough. It is absolutely rough at the moment. All over the world, not just us. It's not unique to us. Let me make that clear. Is it okay? Definitely not. Definitely not. But yeah, as you say, let us do our absolute best to be quite grateful for the work that we all do have, those that do have it, or income that you have. Batabile on Facebook says, bonuses were not something that we expected compared to the previous years. Evelyn says, we don't have bonus, never had year-end functions, no benefits, and leave is unpaid. And this is the tricky thing. When an economy is tough, it becomes easier for people to be exploited out of desperation. Mulefi says, the 5% salary increases, especially if they're not across the board or the same for zonke bonke. Nels says, fortunately, our company is growing, and as was reflected by some of the other industries. Langeliche says, my manager came to work with a scuffed with leftovers for 2 weeks. Shortly after that, they stopped buying coffee and tea in the kitchen. After that, it was just downhill, jiggy jiggy. People are traveling with lift clubs. No more air fresheners either. It's a tough time. We can only hope and pray that 2026 will be so much better. On the WhatsApp line, I was hoping for a big, big bonus. Then I remembered I work for myself.
John Perlman. Weekday afternoons,
3 to 6.
Is this City Power, from your understanding, is this their move to try and be less dependent on entrepreneurs? Because questions have been raised about issues of pricing, for example.
So it's all very confusing, to be honest, because on the one level, there was this whole thing about this contract for 263 million that was given to two 20-year-olds that were running the water tanker contracts in Joburg. And everyone was like, well, these people have no experience. So they have that contract. Joburg Water has not paid contractors.
John Perlman.
3 to 6 on 702.
At Auto & General, we understand your business is built on more than just vehicles. It's your stock, tools and equipment, and the premises where you work. Auto & General Business Insurance is designed for businesses like yours, protecting your assets against fire, theft, storms, and other unexpected events. To protect your livelihood, visit autogen.co.za and get an obligation-free business insurance quote. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za. 702.
Belief matters.
Exploring culture, traditions, religion,
and the beliefs that shape our world.
17 minutes to 2 o'clock. In our Belief Matters feature for today, we chat to Zandile Mafu, spiritually known as Thando Lwakho, who is a spiritual healer around cleansing, how it works and how to do it. 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 and 702. And of course, whenever we're not on air, you can use the email 702 afternoons at 702 afternoons at 702.co.za. I told you guys I'm fighting for my life at the moment. Zandile Mafu, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Relebogile, for having me. It is such an honor to be invited to speak to you today. Thank you.
Please do share with us, why would anybody need to cleanse? And from a spiritual perspective, what does that even mean to cleanse?
Okay, so usually people need to cleanse because on a daily basis we come across energies. Anytime you speak to someone, anytime you walk into a room, there is an exchange of energies. There are pressures in life. Goodness, stress, people are bombarded with energies that are not theirs. Stresses from home, work, not being able to provide, not being able to find certain things. And because other people are bombarded by their own stresses, when you communicate to them, that energetic exchange kind of bombards your own voice, your own internal sound system, if I could put it that way. Cleansing then refreshes your aura. It brings you back to yourself, where you can release things that only compound you and end up making you feel smaller than what you are. Cleansing refreshes your aura. It refreshes your spirit. It refreshes who you are, so you can tell the difference between your own personal voice and that of projections of other people and their own personal experiences in life.
So based on what you have shared, how would a person know that they need to cleanse, or is it something that they just would do regularly?
So generally, to cleanse is something that you should do to keep yourself spiritually hygienic. It's part of your spiritual routine, so you can keep your energies to yourself and release what no longer serves you. But most people will know that they need to cleanse by them feeling a little bit heavy, a little bit depressed. You know, when you're a positive person, you'll be able to tell that, you know what, it's a little bit more difficult for me now. You're compounded by negative circumstances for a consistent amount of time. That's when people start realizing that, no, something's changed, because they start experiencing more negative experiences rather than positive experiences. They feel like there's blockages within their life, that I'm trying to achieve something, I'm trying to do something, but all of a sudden I'm not able to do so. That's how they know that it's time to cleanse.
So
that's how your body tells you that you're needing a cleanse, and you need a release, you need an exhale, as it were.
So I would imagine then for individuals, for example, that work a lot with people, like people who give massages, do nails, maybe they're in customer service and they're engaging with different energies the whole day. Would this apply to them as well regularly? Exactly,
Especially people who are in public spaces and communicate with people. They expend a lot of their energy. They had a perspective of giving a lot. People draw from their energy a lot. People in public spaces, they draw other people's energies, and other people's energies draw from them. And then you end up being compounded by other people's perceptions, other people's feelings and thoughts about themselves, because people project without even realizing that they are. And then you end up internalizing it. So I automatically suggest to my clients and anyone who seeks advice from me is cleanse once a week, especially if you're someone in the public space or someone who helps people out a lot. You need to make sure that you know who you are, so that you can be able to detect if something has gone wrong, or if there are other people's projections that are kind of like clinging on to your energy. And you need to just cleanse that out. So yes, I do 100% suggest people in the public eye to cleanse often.
So just so I know, in the context of cleansing, does cleansing, let's say, after the death of an immediate family member or a parent or a child, does this fall within the category of the cleansing we are talking about right now?
Yes, it does. Because, let me see if I can put this in imagine a vase filled with a colorful sand, whatever color you perceive yourself to exude. For example, myself personally, I feel like I'm an orange color. Your vase is filled with an orange colored sand. When you experience a trauma, that vase cracks and starts leaking out that orange power that you have. And when you experience that trauma, the only way you can prevent yourself from leaking further is by healing that crack or resealing it. And I'm using the glass comparison is because when you heal glass, you need to apply heat and you need to apply water for it to kind of be able to be molded back and shaped into itself, so that it can continue containing or keeping safe this orange sand. And when you go through something as traumatic as losing a child or losing a loved one, or being whatever that you would perceive as traumatic, your glass starts cracking. Cleansing then helps you release or bring the pressure back, the heat and the water together to kind of mold you back into place. Salt is a purifier. It is a cleanser. It's a very popular way to cleanse yourself, a very powerful household item. When you use that salt, combining it with the natural power to cleanse, that is water, the salt acts as the purifier, as the fire, heating up the glass, and then the water coming in to cool down and kind of comfort what the salt has done to kind of clear your energies. So when people come to me, when they have gone through something traumatic, I tell them, no, salt and water is the most powerful thing that you can use. because it brings in the cleanliness of your spirit, the cleanliness of the Creator spirit, which is all that you need to help you get that strength, get that comfort, for you to be able to get through that traumatic experience and basically reshape yourself back to who you were before that major loss. You may have lost a little bit of sand on the way, but at the end of the day, you were able to contain it and still return to who you were before losing something of that magnitude.
Before we move on to the how one cleanses, there's a question from Mulemo who says, would cleansing also be used to break soul ties? Example, if you have had casual sex with somebody.
Oh yes, easily even. All you need when you're cleansing is, first of all, the intention. The tools then activate what your intention is. So when you make that decision or you make that intention that I want to cut this off, I want to stop this, I want to remove this energetic cord I've had with this person, all you need to do is speak that intention to the tools you're using and then cleanse yourself with it. And it will cut off whatever soul ties, whatever energies you want to cut off, provided you keep your word for those boundaries. Because it makes no sense to cleanse and cut off and then not keep your boundaries, and then that person can continue to have access to you. Then it nullifies the cleanse.
What are the circumstances that, let's say, a person would need to come to you for you to do the cleansing?
I don't do the cleansing on behalf of my clients. I try to teach people how to be spiritually clean, spiritually aware on their own. That is the gift that I've been called to do, to teach them that it is accessible. You don't necessarily need to consistently spend money to get someone to cleanse, unless if you feel like you're not able to do so. I provide the tools, the candles, the salts, and teach them how to use them to continuously keep themselves and basically relearn how to love themselves through the trauma, relearn how to set boundaries through whatever you've decided to cut off or whomever you've decided to cut off. Because when you get yourself used to being cleansed by someone else, you're always going to consistently need to be cleansed by someone else.
And
you need to learn how to do it for yourself so you can also stabilize your own energies and not be prone to projections or someone trying to make you who you're not.
Is it necessary for one to also cleanse their home if they're cleansing themselves? So let's say this example that Mulemo gave, you had a stranger in your home and it was a casual sexual encounter. Now you're cleansing yourself to break soul ties, but this person was still in your home.
Yes, I do 100% suggest you cleanse your home at least once a month. Homes you don't generally have many people coming in and out of your home. It's a very sacred and safe space for you. So once a month would be more than enough. And with your home, you can cleanse with salt and other tools, but smoke is the most powerful cleanser when it comes to your home. Cleansers like incense, noma impepo, are the tools that you would use to kind of push out the energies you don't want in your home anymore. And it doesn't necessarily have to be tied to someone. But if you're in your own home and you've had a month where there was a lot of arguments, your home has absorbed that anger, that fear, that doubt, and you will feel your energies feeling off-center in your home. Using impepo, using that salt water will refresh your energies and bring back that peaceful, safe, sacred space that it usually feels like. So yes, I do suggest that people cleanse their homes at least once a month.
There's one here that a question from Dr. Philemon saying, is it cleansing or equivalent of therapy or making sense in other systems?
Okay, sorry, please repeat that question. I'm not sure I'm understanding it.
I think what they're trying to say is this what we are referring to actually cleansing, or is it the same as therapy? Is it the same as trying to process what is happening basically around you? And I think if I understand the question correctly and how they've written it, I think that's what they are saying.
Yes, it is a form of shadow work, because when you're going to therapy, you're needing someone else's assistance to do your own shadow work. Cleansing assists you to do that on your own with the help of your spiritual team. So cleansing, much as it cleanses your energies from your energetic interactions with other people, it brings out of you also what needs to be cleansed. Things that you've suppressed, things that you are ignoring, even though you know that you need to, deal with. A lot of times, especially if you cleanse for the first time, whatever emotions are suppressed, whatever emotions are buried deep within you, usually come out as you cleanse. A lot of people explain it as though baphakamela yimimoya. And I say to them, that's not necessarily true. It's your body, your heart, your spirit saying, I've been holding this in for so long, and you've just given me permission to release it. So it is a form of shadow work. And if you do it consistently, you'll be able to tell the difference that, you know what, I'm crying because what I'm cleansing about, for example, is that I'm not finding a job, for example, or I'm not getting the promotion I need at work and I'm feeling compounded. As you're crying, you realize that I'm not necessarily only crying for the fact that I need this promotion, but it's because I'm feeling pressured because I'm taking care of umamami and their children. My salary is not enough to be taking care of so many people when I have my own things to take care of. It brings forth that attention that if I'm feeling so loaded and so heavy, is it necessary for me to take care of umamngani nabantwana bakhe?
And I mean that
I can stop or change.
Yes, and that is such a big part of the conversation, because I love what you are saying is sometimes you think the issue is one thing, but it is layered with other things. So maybe the cleansing is going to open up certain things. There's a question on my TikTok live here from Mary, who says, does the tribe you are a part of have an impact on the type of cleansing that you need to have done?
Yes and no. There are some tribes that prefer a particular tool. There are some tribes that prefer umuti. There are some tribes that prefer to use salts and, herbs, natural herbs like that. You will know on your body. If you use salt on your body and it does not feel 100% right, it doesn't mean the salt is wrong. It just means it's not aligned to the energy that you bring forth. That's how you and your bloodline prefer to cleanse. Kunabantu who prefer imithi, and some that never sebenzisa imithi, it just aggravates them or doesn't feel right to them. And it's not to say that the tool you're using is wrong, it's just that it's not for you. Don't give up, try and find something else. So yes, it does play a role. You just have, it's a trial and error until you find one that works for you.
All right, I'm going to try to get through more of these questions. There's so many. One says, is prayer adequate as a cleansing tool?
No. Prayer is not a cleansing. Prayer is you requesting power to handle whatever's coming your way. It's like wishful thinking. It's like writing down a manifestation that this is what I want to achieve and then sitting back and waiting for something to happen.
Or saying I need a job, but you're not sending your CV.
Exactly. For you to be able, prayer is you giving something power. You're requesting power from someone to give yourself power to see something through.
Another one says, and we're so close to running out of time. Is there any way to guard yourself against psychic attacks or bad energies, especially when you're in contact with several people often? So I think you kind of answered this one to say, make it a regular thing, even if it's just washing in salt water, because salt is quite powerful. I'm going to have to leave it there, Zandile, but maybe we can catch up beginning of the year and talk about possible rituals that one can look at doing for themselves to kick off and kickstart the year. For those of you who would like to find Zandile Mafu, find her on a TikTok at Amafuno Tando. That's at Amafuno no I'm reading it wrong. Amafu Notando. Sorry, when things are on one word. Amafu Notando on TikTok. 7:02 afternoons at 702.co.za for any of your belief matters topics that you'd like for us to address. Right now it's 2 o'clock and this Eyewitness News is brought to you by Vouch. Hassle-free insurance is possible with your Vouch advisor. Vouch South Africa is an authorized financial services provider. T's and C's apply.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. An Umkhonto Wesizwe councillor from Port Shepstone in KZN is amongst the suspects accused of defrauding the Unemployment Insurance Fund. This has been confirmed by the Special Investigating Unit, which has been conducting search and seizure operations today. The operations are targeting homes, businesses and UIF offices in KZN and in Gauteng. It forms part of an SIU probe into the alleged theft of 161 million rand from the Unemployment Insurance Fund. The SIU says the money was allegedly siphoned from the UIF's COVID-19 Temporary Employee Relief Scheme. SIU spokesperson Kaiser Khanyago says the raids are targeting 35 individuals and 16 companies.
The substantial fund received were not paid to the workers. Instead, they were distributed among syndicate members in a pattern consistent with money laundering.
Khanyago says evidence suggests the syndicate submitted false relief scheme applications.
Digital evidence, computers, desktop, data storage devices, cellular phones, network equipment belonging to or used by the targeted companies have been seized.
The panel investigating candidates vying for the position of NPA boss has grilled a candidate for having discrepancies in her CV. Advocate Xolisile Khanyile, an experienced lawyer with over 23 years in the NPA, was the first candidate in the hot seat today. The interviews of 6 candidates in total come as Advocate Shamila Batoyi's term comes to an end next month. Khanyile is also the former director of the National Financial Intelligence Center, which deals with combating financial crimes such as money laundering and terrorist financing. But it was the discrepancies in her CV that the panelists took issue with.
If I were to be given an opportunity, Minister, because I don't want my 2 hours to be focusing on this and I end up not selling myself adequately, can I be given an indulgence to really give more information or details on this?
Advocate Khanyile.
Yeah.
We are the panel who determines how the interview process goes.
Mm-hmm.
Your CV is what sells you.
That's true.
And currently is inaccurate. I'm not using what is not in front of me.
The Department of Basic Education has set up a national investigation task team to probe if there are any more matric exam irregularities. The move follows the detection of an exam paper leak in Gauteng. Minister Sivuyo Gwagube says the team will start its work immediately to ensure the integrity of the 2025 exam is protected. Gwagube made the announcement at a press briefing in Parliament this morning. Babalondenze reports.
The Department of Basic Education's probe into an exam leak during the final matric exams found that the candidates gave similar answers when responding to a novel question in the English Paper 2 exam. The department says a preliminary investigation also found that the leaks also involved the Mathematics Paper 2 and Physical Sciences exams. Minister Sivuyo Gwagube says a task team will now be investigating further.
Our established protocols have contained it. It is investigated with the highest rigor. Umalusi, our quality assurer, has been briefed. The National Investigative Task Team will begin its work immediately to establish the full facts. This has been isolated to a few learners in 7 schools in the Pretoria area.
Gwagube says of the officials to be criminally charged, one of them is a parent of one of the implicated matriculants. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
To this now, the EFF has described its work in Parliament and across communities as satisfactory. Party leader Julius Malema made the comments while reviewing the party's performance. Malema has been briefing the media in Johannesburg today to reflect on the party's organizational achievements this year. Malema says the EFF has now firmly established itself as a strong opposition in the National Assembly. He adds that the party is also playing a significant role in structures set up to investigate police corruption.
In the fight against crime, the EFF has been at the forefront of ensuring the executive does not hold itself accountable while it is embedded in the corruption and capture of law enforcement agencies.
And online child sexual abuse in England and in Wales has surged by a quarter within a year. According to new police figures, Snapchat is the most commonly used social media platform in reported child exploitation and abuse offences. Last year, more than 122 offences were recorded, an increase of 6% from 2023. The police are calling for tech companies to use AI tools to automatically prevent indecent pictures from being uploaded and shared onto their sites. Gold is trading at $4,215.71 an ounce. The rand is at 16.91 to the dollar, 22.60 to the pound, 19.78 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $62.14 a barrel.
Leaving Halton, heading towards Sandton, there's an accident scene. This is on the M1 northbound near Athol Oaklands, causing huge delays all the way from Killarney Bends. There's also bumper-to-bumper traffic if you're leaving the Joburg CBD on Main Reef Road between Anderson and the M2. And look out for those faulty traffic lights in Polshof at Witkoppen and Main Road.
It's a partly cloudy afternoon in Gauteng. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 25 and 27 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, and Umkhonto Wesizwe councillor from Port Shepstone in KZN is amongst the suspects accused of defrauding the Unemployment Insurance Fund.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is the voice of reason speaking.
But I could sound like this.
Or I could sound like this. Whatever I sound like, I'm saying, listen, Uskapaiza, this insurance thing.
One wrong move and it's not vibes.
That's why you need Vouch.
Someone who gets you and insurance. No spam, no pressure, just honest advice and cover that fits your life.
Because when life happens, you don't have to be the expert.
You just need to know who to turn to. Vouch. Someone on the inside, on your side. Vouch SA is an authorized financial services provider. T's and C's apply.
You're with Relebogile Mabotja.
Live, streaming countrywide
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
8 minutes after 2 o'clock, the second and final hour of 702 afternoons with me, Relebogile Mabotja, and we're going to be jumping into our consumer rights feature with Wendy Nola, as we do on a Thursday. So get in touch with us, 011-883-0702, SMS us 31702, tweet at Relebogile M, at Radio 702, using the hashtag 702 afternoons, and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
702.
Nola knows.
Time for our consumer rights feature, Nola Knows, with Wendy Nola. Happy Thursday, Wendy.
And to you, Relebogile, good to be with you again.
Thank you so much. I feel like the further we get into December, the more important this feature becomes, because people are taking time off from making money to spend money.
Really well put, yes. Weirdly, it's also this time when no matter how people are getting caught or need help or whatever, they tend to prioritize having a party. So my inbox gets quite small, which is a nice break.
Yes.
And then from about the second week of January, it's like a deluge.
Yep.
All the things that went wrong on the holiday.
Yep. All right, let's jump into our very first story.
Okay, so listeners may remember that I undertook to take up 2 cases of listeners that phoned towards the end of last week's show. So the first was Rob. He phoned in about his battle for the last few months to cancel his son's cell phone contract. So despite providing evidence that his son had passed away, and despite the contract being on a month-to-month basis, so you should just be able to cancel it with a month's notice, Rob's repeated requests every month to please cancel the contract were not being acted upon by Vodacom for whatever reason. I took a look into that. And then, do you remember Gerard and his Great Dane puppy? We were like, what? That puppy was left alone for a couple of hours and destroyed not 1 but 2 upmarket leather couches. His claim, around 50,000 Rand, was rejected despite the fact he said that his policy didn't specifically exclude damage caused by pets. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. Let me look into it. So Shall we start with Rob?
Yes.
Okay, so his case was as unnecessary as it was heartbreaking. His son, as I said, passed away 2 years ago. It's the 2-year anniversary coming up this month. His cell phone contract was on Rob's account. So after he passed away, Rob, the contract was still in its active contract period. So he waited for that period to come to an end. And then he went to the store in Four Ways Mall, the Vodacom store in Four Ways Mall, to give notice of cancellation. So even if your contract term has ended, you still have to give 30 days notice. So if you end it today, you're still going to pay for January's subscription, and then from February, that should be the end of it. So he did that. So it should have stopped. He shouldn't have paid for September, but September, October, November, December still debited. He was going in every month. So his son was gone, but the contract was living on and on and on. And he told me off air, every time I go into that branch, every month, to try and get this sorted out, it rips open the heart wound again. And you can imagine. So I knew that this wouldn't be a hard fix for me, Relebogile. I knew it would just take an email. But the point is, why? What's wrong with the system? Why
it shouldn't
is it
need
easy for
you
me
to do that.
Exactly. So exactly what happened, what I thought would happen, happened. I sent my email to Vodacom. I said, why has this contract not been cancelled? Rob is paying 554 Rand a month for no gain. I said, is Vodacom now willing to cancel, refund the subscriptions that he should have not been paying after the cancellation period, notification period? And I also attached WhatsApp proof, which showed that Rob had actually issued notice of cancellation, right? The response was quick, and as expected, we can confirm that Rob tried cancelling his contract in question at store level, but could not do so. We are currently investigating the reasons why this contract wasn't cancelled on his request. We have since cancelled the contract, migrated the line to prepaid, and processed a credit note for all invoices raised from August to date. Rob is happy with the resolution. They're obviously calling him by his Mr. name. We have apologized for the inconvenience that this has caused. And there was a lot of, never mind inconvenience, it was mostly a lot of unnecessary hassle and emotional distress. So I thought, let's bring Robin to confirm that it's all sorted and how he feels about it now.
Hi, Rob. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and yourself, Rosie?
Doing well. And I mean, for those that are not aware, I mean, I want to just reiterate our condolences to you. I can't believe you had to also, on top of losing a child, experience all of this.
Well, I don't know. It's either the inefficiency of the system or the we don't give a damn attitude. I don't know.
Yeah. So, Wendy.
So you shared with me this morning some good news, drawing a line under this contract business, Rob.
Yes, they finally sent me today, I think it was about 10 o'clock this morning, they sent me an email stating that the contract was cancelled, the monies have been returned to my account, and that was it. Although the guy that phoned me on Monday said it'll be latest on Tuesday, today's Thursday, so I suppose 4 days is pretty good go.
Okay, well, I'm glad I was able to sort that out for you, and I'm so sorry that it took that.
Yeah, absolutely stunningly. Thank you very much for your time and trouble, honestly.
Least I could do. It was really no trouble, Rob. It took me a few minutes to compile an email and send it off. It's an absolute pleasure, but as I say, for me, the issue is that you shouldn't have had to make that call to us. You shouldn't have had to. It should have been done. It should have been cancelled from August, as your wish was, and I'm really sorry that your loss was compounded by this unnecessary battle.
It's all right. Yeah. Again, I actually don't know how to say thank you enough.
Oh,
honestly,
Rob.
I don't.
Thank you for reaching out and for calling in. I know, Wendy, there aren't many cases you are able to take at a time, but we also just appreciate you being able to follow up. And it is a pity that when you send the email, something gets done about it. But I guess if that wasn't the case, we wouldn't be doing this feature on my show.
This is true. This is true. I'm very grateful that the telecoms industry's media liaison divisions are generally very efficient, so that at least when I take up a case, I know if it has merit, it will be sorted out. But as I say, it would be lovely if the customers themselves had access to some kind of escalation that would really work for them.
Okay,
other than me.
Yes, other than you. Let's move on to our next case.
Okay, so Gerard and his destructive Great Dane puppy. In October, I think there were 2 incidents. They left the pup alone for a few hours, and she punished them by chewing up their leather furniture. There was a couch and a chair, or a one-seater, as the industry calls it. Replacement quotes. There were 2 quotes. And if my maths is serving me correctly, totaled 50,000 Rand, which is a big loss. Gerard told me in the email he sent me after the show last week, we've since taken preventative measures to avoid any further damage to our furniture. Now, the reason the case interested me was not so much that it happened, but that Gerard told us, if you remember last week, that the fact that his insurance policy excluded damage caused by pets, and here we're talking, cats clawing your couch to pieces, dogs regarding furniture as something to teeth on, etc. That exclusion was not included or stipulated in his policy, he said. And I said, oh, that's weird. Definitely send it to me. Let me see what I can do. Because these exclusions are pretty standard. If you think about it, the risk is very high. I mean, I have furniture in my home that was damaged by a clawing cat several years ago. It's high. There's a high possibility that the pets will damage your furniture, and there's also a high expense attached to recovering or replacing furniture, right? So it's a standard exclusion. So anyway, Gerard sent me the policy. I took a look at everything he sent me, including the rejection letter, and it does say that there were a lot of exclusions. They always have a lot of exclusions. So there's loss of damage by insects or pests. So that's ants chewing through the wires of your gate motor, which has happened to me a few times, or the rats that got into your garage and got tucking into your car engine wiring. There's no claim for either of those things. And I've had a few of the car claims. And then this. It states no cover for damage or loss caused by domestic pets. So I had to tell Gerard, I'm so sorry, I can't help you this time. I know. So bear that in mind if you're about to get a puppy or a kitten, that, it is a big risk, because if they do what they do, there's no, there may be some policies that cover it, in which case, yay for you, but just check. Don't think that you're going to be covered if there's accidental damage. In Gerard's case, there was something that was a bit odd, because they did set an assessor to assess the damage, and in her report, she said that in her opinion, the damage could be deemed as accidental. So why do that if you've got an exclusion on your policy that says no damage, pet damage is covered? So that was a bit odd, and I don't blame him for feeling aggrieved there. But anyway, I looked at this particular policy, and I haven't gone to the company, so I haven't named them. But these kinds of inclusions are not that unusual. So I just thought I'd pick out another one that's stood out for me. No cover for household contents of if they left in the open, unless, of course, it's meant for the open, like an outdoor table or patio set or whatever. So it's December, and if you carry your couch into the garden to have a little party with your mates, and then you forget to bring it back in, and there's a nice high-felt storm that evening, and it gets ruined, you're not going to be covered. And another one, it might be particular to just this policy, and the company is quite a big one. No amount more than a third of the sum insured for total value of gemstones, furs, jewels, jewelry, watches, and all items made from platinum, gold, or silver. So you might think you've got cover for your jewelry, but if you didn't read deeply enough into your policy document, you won't see that you're only if they get stolen, you'll only be paid out a third of their stated value. That's quite a biggie, I thought. And then just one more thing, since I was talking about jewelry, I had a case earlier in the year. In fact, it was a ruling by the Phase Ombud. And it was based on this case where this woman stashed, obviously a wealthy couple, she and her husband going overseas, long haul flight. She had 785,000 Rand of jewelry. She didn't check it in. She wasn't that stupid, but she had it in her carry-on baggage, her cabin baggage. And when she wanted to go to sleep, she put it above her, directly above her in the overhead storage locker thing, and gone. The jewelry was gone while she was sleeping. And the claim was denied because with that insurance policy, it said there's only cover if the jewelry, if not being worn. So it would either be worn, if it was snatched off your neck while you were wearing it, they would cover it, or it had to be in a locked safe. And so just putting it somewhere in a bag and putting it above you in the overhead cabin locker, what are they called? Storage. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. That
That wasn't good enough. And because the broker was found not to have brought that specific exclusion to the client was the husband, to his attention, the insurer did pay 135,000 Rand as a goodwill gesture, but that's very far off from the 785,000 Rand loss. So the Ombud then recommended that the broker offer a settlement of 50,000 Rand on top of that goodwill, and they accepted it. So they still had a big loss. So if you are going overseas in the next few weeks for the festive and you're going to take expensive jewelry, wear it on you. So first of all, obviously never check it in, but don't even put it in your cabin baggage above your head, because if something happens, it's not going to be covered. So wear it on you. So that's their end of those insurance, jewelry, etc., chewing couch advice. I hope someone learned something from that.
I have to ask a question, Wendy. So what would you advise now when a person is taking out insurance? Because obviously with T's and C's and maybe actually because people don't really use their read through all of the T's and C's, so they might not be aware of all of these exclusions. I just thought about the fact that when you get your soft copy, put it through an AI bot to flag whatever items for you.
That's such a good idea. Never thought of that.
I just thought of it now. I'm like, put it in an AI bot to let it flag and highlight the things that could be a potential issue. Because, and I don't recall, maybe you can help me here, Wendy, do they usually send soft copy contracts prior to you accepting a quote or not? Because maybe that also is an issue in that you don't get an opportunity, and I could be wrong, I don't remember because I've been with the same company for so long, but do you get to see all the T's and C's before you accept a quote for you to be able?
Yeah, you should do. Yeah, absolutely, you should. And if you don't, you should ask for it, because you really need to read through it, or AI it, let AI read through it to see if there's anything in there that's going to trip you up. So if you've got a lot of jewelry, for example, this wouldn't be the policy for you, the one that Gerard has, if you're only going to get paid out a third. Or remember, one of the ombuds told me a long time ago, with insurance policies, short-term insurance policies, this is a negotiation document for you. You don't have to accept all those things. You could say, but I want my full value, and then they'll adjust the premium, right? So it's not set in stone. Your insurance policy is unique to you. You should make it unique to you. So thank you for that question, because spending time and energy going in will prevent a lot of unnecessary rejected claims, or you won't choose to go with that cover if they're not willing to cover you in the way that you want to cover, so that your risks are covered, so that you covered for the things that are important to you. But remember with AI though, it's all about the prompt, and even then, it might not flag something.
Yes.
That would be important to you. So that's a good starting point. Absolutely.
Yes. So that you're not necessarily reading through 36 pages of legal jargon that you're not aware of. But even if the prompt is, this is a quotation I have received. This is the type of insurance I'm looking for. Please flag any concerns in regards to cover, excess, what I would be liable for, and exclusions.
Yeah, and you can do that with your homeowners policy as well. If you've got a bond, you have to have some kind of homeowners insurance. And I've got a case now recently where a woman's in Gauteng somewhere, her lapa fell over in a really bad storm, and she got the response that is just so seems to me to be standard. And her claim rejected. It wasn't as a result of the storm. It was slow wear and tear as a result of lack of maintenance. And I've gone back to it to say, push back, ask them to prove it. And what are they basing that? What evidence is there? And so I'm sort of advising in the background, and it's a case that I might report on later. And she's following my advice, and let's see where that goes. But again, so you could do the AI thing and say, what's likely to trip me up based on cases that have been reported in the media, because that's something I've reported on many times. It will it's an easy way. You should be doing this show, Relebogile. That's such a good piece of advice. With the proviso that you have to double check. Don't rely on it 100%.
No, don't rely.
Not yet.
So what I can tell you, Wendy, that I've been doing as well is, for example, with regards to checking travel, I would not just saying like advise me where to go if I'm looking for this type of place. I would say please scan all reviews on all sites, including Hello Peter, for which of these has a lower rating and why. And because now the AI bot starts to know my personality type, it'll say things like, the beach is not walking distance, so we don't recommend you go to this one. Then I'm like, thank you.
That's a very big one. And we did that on this show a few months ago, and it was quite an eye opener. I mean, and also things like if you're going to the coast, ask what the water quality, the seawater quality is like there, based on the E. coli testing and all of that. Because you get there, especially south coast or north coast of KZN, and oops, the beach is closed and you've planned your whole holiday around that. I'm from KZN. This is a very, very sad topic for me. But even looking to buy property in one of those areas, always do a search for the current condition of the seawater in that area.
I have to read WhatsApps before we go to the news. One says, I worked as a consumer journalist for over 2 decades ago. The mind always boggled how companies would resolve issues immediately after the media got involved. It shouldn't take the media to respect your clients with valid claims, is what they say. Completely agreed. And then also Dr.
Who is that?
They don't say who they are. And
few consumer journalists in this country.
Yeah.
Anyway, hello to you, whoever you are.
Which means then clearly if they worked as a consumer journalist 2 decades ago, it means that not much has changed in terms of the fact that the media has to get involved. But I think now with social media, companies have to act a lot faster.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, go to TikTok and everyone's a consumer journalist on there. Sometimes they get the consumer law. I'm a new entrant onto that platform. Sometimes they get the consumer law right wrong and claim vehemently that they have rights that they don't. So, that's another story. But yes, in general, consumers now have a lot more power in the face of corporate wrongdoings.
And then I have to read one that says, Relebogile and Wendy, thank you for your commitment for this helpful weekly feature and clear contributor to this award-winning show. It achieves and educates a lot. Best wishes for the festive season.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
And you are part of the team, Wendy, so you do know it's your award as well.
No. I don't think my little hour a week counts. But
it does. Wendy, what do you mean? You are part of the team.
Right, I'll take it.
Yes, it is. We share the award with you, not the R1 million prize we won with it.
Yes.
I've been getting DMs asking me how much did we win with this award. It's time for news. When we come back, we continue with Wendy Nola. Get your consumer rights issues into us. And now it's 2:30 time for your latest Eyewitness News headlines.
Thanks, Relebogile. Good afternoon. Exam quality assurer Umalusi has welcomed the ongoing investigative work aimed at determining the magnitude of matric exam irregularities. The issue was raised during a media briefing by Minister of Basic Education Siviwe Kwagube earlier today. Kwagube reported cases of irregularities involving the mathematics, physical sciences and English home language papers which were leaked using a USB storage device. Former investigating Directorate Head Advocate Hermione Cronje has told a panel interviewing her for the role of prosecution's boss that there is a skills catastrophe in the NPA. Cronje is one of 6 candidates vying for the top prosecutor post at the NPA. Today is the second and final day of interviews ahead of Advocate Shamila Batoye's term coming to an end next month. And a tribunal set up to confront an ongoing women's rights crisis in Afghanistan is set to report on its findings at The Hague today. The tribunal, convened by a coalition of Afghan civil society organizations and the Permanent People's Tribunal, was set up to expose the systemic denial of women's rights in that nation. Those are the headlines, this EWN and more at 3 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, at this stage, if you're traveling through the Melrose area heading towards Joburg, there's slow-moving traffic on the M1 southbound between Ethel Oaklands and Killarney Bends. Also, if you're traveling through Riverlea, this is leaving Soweto heading towards Joburg. There's slow-moving traffic on the N17 eastbound between the N1 and Nasrec Road. Look out for those faulty traffic lights in Calvin, Old Pretoria Road and Northway. There's also traffic lights out of order in Polshof at Witkoppen and Main. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
The conversation around protection of whistleblowers continues. Not all whistleblowers are entirely innocent. Some whistleblowers are disgruntled participants in some of the crimes that they are now blowing the whistle about. Not all whistleblowers, I would argue, deserve the same kind of protection. I argue that you can't compare Babita Diokara with a Marius van der Merwe. They are not of the same fabric, morally speaking, ethically speaking.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
You're invited to the Red Ball Festival on the 9th of December at DP World Wanderers Stadium. Celebrate cricket with activities, prizes, and free Ola ice creams for the first 200 guests. Meet Ryan Rickleton with the ICC World Test Championship Mace. Enjoy a picnic on the field and let kids join a free masterclass with Hashim Amla and Alan Donald. Plus giveaways, stadium tours and a grand prize of 2 return flights to Cape Town from Lift Airlines. Get your tickets at cricket.co.za. Hashtag the pride of Jozi. T's and C's apply.
Good times is what life is all about. But heartburn, indigestion, acid reflux and UTIs can put a damper on your day. With a wide range of products from Adcock Ingram OTC, you can build a survival pack to help you and your family with your gut and urinary health. Adcock Ingram OTC has you covered with products like Citrasoda, Adcomeo Gel, Scopex, and LP299V. Ask your pharmacist for a host of Adcock Ingram OTC solutions for your gut and urinary problems and visit beprepared365.co.za.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
The Financial Sector Conduct Authority finally issuing fines of more than 2 billion rand on the trading platform Bankso. It's been found guilty of lying to clients, misappropriating funds, promising unrealistic returns.
Most of the consumers, they're looking for investments that yield a better return, that give a higher interest rate. So that's where we are gullible. Now, these scammers will take opportunity of such behavior.
Eunice Sabia is an independent financial trainer and coach.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show, Stephen Curtis, is brought to you by ABSA CIB. Invested in your story because your story matters. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Coming up
on 702 Drive with John Perlman.
702 Drive is coming up from 3 to 6 p.m. with John Perlman. John, happy Thursday. How are you doing?
Doing well, thanks, and you. Good afternoon to the listeners.
I am doing well. What's coming up on your show today?
So, right now, as we speak, candidate number 5 for the position of head of the National Prosecuting Authority is currently being questioned. We've got Khumotso Modise, who's paying very, very close attention to all of that. She'll chat to us at about 3:20. Peace talks between Russia and Ukraine appear to have gone into very, very choppy waters. It's all gone very quiet, actually. What's going on behind the scenes? We'll put that to our guest, Professor James Kerr-Lindsay, joining us on the line from Cyprus, actually, which is where he works from. The Emerging Farmer of the Year has been chosen. Very interesting character, very interesting story about someone who's made their way up through the ranks in agriculture. We'll do that at 4:20. The big story domestically, of course, has been the news of a breach in the matric exam system. We'll get a teacher's perspective from Basil Manuel, who heads the Teachers Union NAPTOSA. And then Uber Eats have done a survey of what we eat and what we order and what the trends are. We're going to find out what's in the survey, and we'll ask people maybe, well, what have you been ordering? All that coming up.
Oh, I'm so interested in that one. I will so be tuning in to see. Because, there's a thing called Spotify Wrapped. So Spotify Wrapped sort of gives you your data on these were your top 3 songs that you listened to. You spent this many hours. These are your 5 favorite artists. It would be so cool if you could see your own personal. You ordered 700 kilograms of ribs.
Yes.
Or solve this much of soul food.
What did you have the next day?
Yes. We'll be tuning in to check that one out. 702 Drive with John Perlman. Coming up from 3 to 6 p.m.
702.
Nola Knows.
We continue in our consumer rights feature, Nola Knows, with Wendy Nola. And your calls are on 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. And we've been obviously chatting feedback from a couple of issues that we've had that have been raised on this show, and then also had conversations just around insurances, exclusions and things like that. But I want to open up the lines, and as I see your questions already coming through. So one says, and I'm not sure, I'm going to have to see where this message comes from because it seems, oh, okay, here it goes. The person says, Wendy, a family member eventually took their relative's ashes into the cell phone store after months of trying to cancel the contract, and then it got sorted very quickly.
Reminds me of the time that the funeral policy wasn't being paid out and the relatives took their it was an uncle, I remember, into the funeral policy providers' premises on the north coast of KZN, I remember. But sometimes in desperation, you're like, this is the situation. What else do you want to happen? Sort your policies out, sort your procedures out. I just want to add there that a lot of people think that when their relatives die, normally it's a parent, that the cell phone contract dies with them, and that's not the case because the contract is still binding. So if you don't sort it out, take it over or pay it up or whatever, or keep paying it until the end, they can make a claim on the estate. So a lot of people write to me very outraged. The person's died, that should be ended. It doesn't work like that. The contract, the money's still owing to the company that provided the product or the service.
And I think that's very important for us to know. We go to the lines. Deboho in Johannesburg. Go ahead, Deboho.
Yes, good afternoon, Kilubukele and Wendy. I have a problem with a car that I bought from a dealership. And to cut the long story short, within the 6 months, it caused me problems. There was a time where I was at risk because it was a Friday afternoon and they had to send a mechanic who had to undo the whole engine just to put the belt properly. But to cut the long story short, I then reported the matter at Miosa, who has not responded to me. And whenever I call them or email them, they say that matter is still being investigated, which is now, to me, is becoming suspicious because it was reported in April, the car was purchased in January. Till now, they have not responded to me. And when I go to the other motor ombuds, they say that there must be a conclusion with Miosa first. So I'm just trying to see what is it that I can do now. I have written to Wendy as well. At some point, I reached out to her on Twitter. I've also called into the show. They said, listen, just send your email again now, and I've done so. But I understand Wendy being the single person throughout all of our complaints. I'm just trying to see what help can I get.
First of all, sorry, Tebogo, for not responding to your email and for understanding the maths of one person and hundreds every day. I was going to say, when you said you raised it on Twitter, that's, I can't engage on Twitter. I can be pointed to an issue, but then I normally say, please email, but you have done that. So I'm going to do a search for your name. When you say you try to take it to another motor ombud, what were you referring to there?
So Miosa seems to be the first between the dealer and the consumer. But if one is not satisfied from that resolution, then they can go to I forgot the ombud's name, but I've got an email from them, so I can give that to you as well.
I don't think it's an ombud. It perhaps was the National Consumer Commission, because
Thank you,
the motor industry.
That's the one. Yes,
okay, so that's not that's the commission. Yeah, because in terms of how the Consumer Protection Act is regulated, is only the MIOSA, the Motor Industry Ombud, is the only ombud, and then if you're not happy with an outcome, you can then go to the commission. But I can say for the ombud, my inbox. When you all know, if you're a regular listener, when we open up the lines, the highest proportion of complaints is always about cars. So there's just this huge amount of need, there are huge number of disputes, and it's very hard for the office to stay on top of them. I'm not making excuses. I'm just providing some context. Having said that, if you send something through in April and you haven't even had, you've had not even a preliminary response in terms of, well, the dealership says this or whatever, then that is an unacceptable, and that's 8 months. So that shouldn't be. What I can tell you is that I will find your case when we come off air, and I will respond to you there and see. I do have some people that I know at the Ombuds office. I could ask some questions as to what the status is and why it's been so long.
Thank you so much, Tebogo, for your call. Please just stay on the line with our producer so that we can pass on your email address just to make it easy for Wendy to find your correspondence. We've got a voice note on 072702 and 702.
Hello, Relebogile and team. Zex here. I just wanted to ask a quick one. This ombudsman, how long do they take to resolve the case? Because I've had a case with them for over a year now, and they're still busy with it. So I just wanted to know, how long does it take, maybe approximately the maximum time it takes? Thank you.
Zax, you didn't specify which ombud. There are quite a few. There's banking, there's insurance, there's consumer goods and services, and then there's motor industry ombud. I should look up what the motor industry ombud puts as their average time to close a case. I know with the financial ones, it's normally around 3 to 4 months, and then some more complicated cases longer. It seems like a long time. When I take up a case, I give companies about 3 days to respond, because I've reckoned by the time it comes to me, they've already ventilated, they've investigated, they've said their no to their customer, whatever. So I don't feel that they need to be given 3 weeks or whatever to respond. And also, media doesn't have the luxury of that kind of time. But yeah, you're looking at least 3 to 4 months. I will, if you're talking specifically about the motor industry ombud, then I will make that part of my homework before next week's show to find out what timelines they set for themselves, how often they meet them, etc.
All right, thank you so much. And if you want to just clarify which ombud you are referring to, because there are so many in the consumer rights space, that will be quite helpful. Another message says, I learned so much from 702 and Wendy Nola. Isn't she amazing?
That's very gratifying. Thank you.
All right. There is one more which says, afternoon, kindly ask Wendy if she knows who I can escalate my outstanding refund matter to. In March, I overpaid, and they're speaking to a specific cell phone network, which I wouldn't mention on air. I overpaid when I pressed an extra digit and paid over 6,000 Rand instead of 600 Rand. I have submitted all the bank statements and proofs of payment. It has been 4 months of ineffective back and forth. Thank you so much, Lindelwa.
Lindelwa, send me an email, please. Again, it's one of those cases that I can get sorted out. It's an unusual one, so it's it has to go via, and these ones get lost. I do know that it's a classic fraudsters thing, right? I was watching video on TikTok this morning where someone said, I think I almost got scammed. Someone wanted their daughter to have a makeup lesson and said, I've paid too much money, please refund. And so it is a well-known fraudster's tactic. They send you a false proof of payment and then you refund, and then you found out later it was fake and they never paid you anything. So, excuse me. So they do have to spend some time doing those checks. But if you say 4 months, that's definitely way, way too long. And that's a lot of money, especially to be without at this time of year. So as soon as you send me that email, was it Lindelwa? I will get onto that case. As I say, I have a very high, very, very high success rates with the telecoms companies. They have very efficient media liaison people.
Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we continue your consumer rights issues on 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
There's a new way to experience all your favorites. Pulse Africa, the 24/7 fast channel, now live on primemediaplus.com and the Prime Media Plus app, bringing you the best of Prime Media around the clock. Watch the biggest moments from 702. It's non-stop entertainment and authentic African storytelling, all from Africa's leading media network. Pulse Africa, only on the primemediaplus.com and Prime Media Plus app.
Every December, it's the same story. New toys, new clothes, and more takeaways. And by January, the bonus is gone. Grow it, don't blow it. With a Nedbank investment. Invest 100,000 Rand or more in a Nedbank 12-month electronic fixed deposit account and stand a chance to win 50,000 Rand. Invest your bonus and grow your future. See money differently. Nedbank. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Don't change your festive plans. WeBuyCars will come to you and handle it in a flash. Simply complete the form on webuycars.co.za to get your offer. Gifting yourself a new ride? Visit WeBuyCars online or at any branch to find the car on your wish list. WeBuyCars, the easiest way to buy or sell your car.
Final call for boarding.
Building a life across borders starts with choices. Visas, a second passport, citizenship, your child's education abroad, and sometimes those choices can be overwhelming. For 30 years, Sable International has simplified global mobility, including cross-border tax, forex, and wealth management, helping you make the right choices with expertise and care. Build your future beyond borders. Visit us at sableinternational.com.
702.
Nola knows.
11 minutes to 3 o'clock, and we continue in our consumer rights feature, Nola Knows, with Wendy Nola, 011 883 0702, the WhatsApp line 072 7021 702. Earlier on, a person was trying to find out how long the ombuds cases can take to get resolved, and we were unclear what industry specifically. Wendy, the person responded to say it's for car insurance.
Oh, so that's short-term, or they call it the non-life division of the National Financial Ombudsman. And I think it's around 3 to 4 months. I would have to look at their latest annual report, but it's around that time frame, because these can be quite quite a lot of backwards and forwards, a lot of complicated legal arguments sometimes. So yeah, you shouldn't expect a quick turnaround time if you're going to a financial services ombudsman.
All right, thank you so much. We go to Relebogile in Joburg South. Relebogile, go ahead. Please don't mention the name of the company.
Okay. I went to, I was having a loan with one of the banks around 2009. They garnished me. After they garnished me, this year, 2025, January, they told me that I owe them again. So they asked me to send my payslips for 2009. So I did send those payslips. So my question is, should I follow them up to check if they managed to get me off from my loan? They managed to cancel the loan, or should I wait for them to call me again?
Relebogile, I'm not entirely sure. You paid off an original debt by garnishee or emoluments attachments order is their proper name, through your HR department of your company that employs you. And did you think it was finished and now they've come with another garnishee?
No.
Is that what's happened?
Yes. They just said I still owe them. So I still owe them. I didn't finish the loan. So I sent them my payslips. Yes.
So wait, what? Okay, help us understand. What is the question?
The question is, they called me on January,
Yes.
And then I sent them my payslips, that the proof that you guys did garnish me. I finished to pay the loan. So should I wait for them to call me again, or must I call them to check if definitely?
Okay,
I paid up the loan now?
This is not a. I don't think this is really a consumer rights issue. Also, we're struggling to hear. So,
no,
Relebogile,
it is.
I'm talking about the part, Wendy, where if you are saying that you're not done paying up the loan and you've been a garnished, right? You are saying that you want to know because the loan is not done, meaning the garnishing order is going to continue. So is your question, do you need to call them back to follow up because they asked to see your payslip?
Yes. I told them again, or should I wait for them again to call me?
Oh, because the garnishing hasn't started.
No, it started already. It's finished since 2009. They did it for 1 year.
2009?
Yes. Until 2010, when they finished me.
Okay, so if you've been paying a garnishee order since that long, there's something very wrong. If you want to send me the details, I'll take a look. I'll ask the bank to investigate what's going on there, because you should have paid that debt off by now. Why I asked if it was a second debit order is sometimes they do just the debt, and then you think, oh, I'm finished, yay, and then they come at you with a separate garnishee for the costs, the fees, and the interest, and then you got to pay that off. So that's what I thought you were querying, but it doesn't sound like it, or it may be part of it. So if you want to send me an email, Relebogile, with the basic details, the bank account number concerned, and the dates, I will ask them to clarify what's going on. It's easier for me to get answers than you most of the time as the customer, which we've been talking about in today's show. So I'd be happy to query it for you.
Thank you so much for that question. All right, we go to, we have more voice notes on 072 702 and 702.
Good afternoon, Relebogile. This is Selma from Roodepoort. Whenever I have a problem with my medical aid that want me to do co-payments on scans and things that for PMB cases where I'm not supposed to do a co-payment, or companies that think they can do you out of money, all I do is I say to them, well, if it's not important enough for you, I'll unfortunately have to phone up Radio 702, and I will mention your name, and you will get right of reply. But if you fix it up in the next 10 minutes, then I won't. Well, usually within 10 minutes, they fixed up the problem, and I don't get diddled. Thank you for a lovely program, and thank you so much to Wendy Knowler. Everybody seems to know her name whenever you threaten them with Radio 702 and Wendy. Thank you, bye.
Look at that. You're a superstar, Wendy.
What a lovely lot of listeners are sharing with us today. I'm literally blushing. Thank you.
We've got another voice note.
Hi, Relebogile. And to Wendy Nola.
I'm wondering, have you ever had complaints about a company called eDreams? I booked a ticket online. It was like a last minute thing. I really needed a ticket, and I booked a ticket online with eDreams, and I've been automatically subscribed to something. They take 200 Rand off my account every month. Last month they debited me twice. It's impossible to find their support line online on their site. It's just, and the bank suggests to me I close my bank account and open up a new bank account, and that's the only way to stop the debit order. I'm just wondering, have you heard of this before, or this company? It's insane.
Okay.
Your input would be valued. Thank you.
You had to open up a new bank account to avoid a debit order. Wow.
Well, there should be a dispute procedure for somebody that says they didn't give consent, but the banks usually are not really that keen. But I see earlier or last night I saw an eDreams complaint actually in my inbox, and I just haven't got to it. So I will do a search, and I'm quite sure there will be quite a few. I wasn't aware of. I've had other complaints, but I get complaints about all companies from time to time. But this 200 Rand sort of, I'm guessing they do subscribe, but it's done in a way that they don't realize they're doing it, kind of thing. Because who would want 200 Rand to come off their account every month for what?
Yeah.
So, and he doesn't know what it's for. So I will definitely investigate that. If I do an inbox search, I'm sure there are going to be quite a few. If that is what's happening, I'm sure there's going to be quite a few other complaints. So to be continued, I will come back with an answer on that one. And our listener, whose name I didn't note, I'm not sure if he gave one. Please send me an email with your experience, because then that's a solid case study for me to work on. It's I might as well give it now as the dying minutes of the show. It's consumer@knowler, KNOWLER.co.za.
Consumer@knowler, KNOWLER.co.za. Thank you so much, Wendy.
In life's most challenging moments of loss, compassion can be your greatest comfort. You shouldn't have to face the financial burden of losing a loved one by yourself. Rest assured, Clientele's funeral plans pay out cash within 24 hours. You can cover up to 13 family members on one plan, ensuring all your loved ones are taken care of, and 3 children are covered at no additional cost. With Clientele, you're not just buying a plan, you're also buying peace of mind. When the time comes, you will need to make important calls with your 200 Rand airtime you will receive when you claim. Plans offer double accidental death cover, as well as transport, grocery and unveiling benefits. Apply today, it's easy. There are no medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
At Checkers, we do more so you get extra this Christmas. With festive savings like Danone Ultramel Vanilla Flavored Custard, 1 kg for $24.99. And Clover Butro Full Cream Modified Butter Spread, 500 grams for $69.99. Plus, stand a chance to win your share of 7 million Rand in prizes. Simply buy any 3 qualifying products and swipe your extra savings card to enter. Valid until Sunday at Checkers, Checkers Hyper or Shop on 6060. T&Cs apply.
You're listening to 702 Afternoons
with Relebogile Mabotja,
winner for the best talk show
at the Telkom Radio Awards.
Thank you so much for joining us on 702 Afternoons. If you would like to send any issues for our various features, or you'd like to raise a topic you'd like us to discuss or bring an expert in on, 702 Afternoons at 702.co.za. That is 702 Afternoons at 702.co.za. All our conversations are podcast. Go to primemediaplus.com or download the app so that you have access to conversations, information, competitions, and any other cool things that are happening on the show. Thanks for joining us. It's 3 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Umalusi welcomes fast action in exam paper leak probe, and SIU raids offices, buildings and residences in COVID-19 corruption probe.